Successful students in my courses are very motivated to learn more about research methods and learn about sociology in terms of how to collect data, how to write a proposal, how to do their first literature review. So students who have done really well in my class have taken the time to work through all of their assignments and to complete work on time, and they're usually really passionate about what they're studying. I would say my teaching style is very structured. The courses that I primarily teach are writing courses, so it's really important for my teaching style to be easy to understand and for students to understand the requirements, because the course that I do teach is a required class of all majors. So everyone who takes my course has to get at least a C- in order to complete the course.
Yes, I would. With this particular professor, this instructor, yes. She's very thorough, she's precise, she's knowledgeable, she's word for word on that syllabus. It matches the requirement that you have from the book to the assignments. She gives you enough time. She's there for you with her office hours. If not, all you can do is call if you need to maybe not make the office hours in a sense, then you can call or text her and then she'll set up a special time for you. I would. She's good. I learned organization. I learned deadlines. I learned how to do research, how to go about it, how to cite information correctly. I learned how not to do any plagiarism, because you can get in some deep trouble. She meant that. Every word of that, I felt that down to the core. Lots of valuable information. So she's preparing me for the next journey, the next step. Okay.
I suppose it depends on the class. So in an upper division class, I expect the students to, in an abstract sense, know how to be a student, right? So they should know how to look over the syllabus, what the class will expect of them in terms of writing, reading, the workload, that sort of thing, and being able to manage their time to plan for what they're going to have to do, right? And then as the courses go on, I expect them to be able to have somewhat of a routine and some amount of comfort in the classroom where they can ask questions of me, or ideally come to office hours, although we know that doesn't happen as much as we'd like. That's sort of my hope. I don't know if it's much of an expectation, it's my hope. Folks would ask questions, come to office hours, that sort of thing. And then the third expectation is that folks begin, or rather even before they start, they kind of have some interest in the course materials, right? Or they have some knowledge about what they're getting into. So right in our globalization class, I expect students to have a little bit of an interest, or to begin to cultivate kind of an interest in stuff that's going on in the world outside of the US.
Yeah.
Right? Basically, it kind of came about through my own interest in the world, I guess. I'm a sociologist. I have these curiosities about international things, right? I like to travel. I'm curious about different places, what goes on there, but also about the natural environment, right? I grew up hearing a lot about climate change and acid rain and these different environmental issues. And so I always kind of had a curiosity about why we live in a society that has such trouble addressing these problems when it's widely known that these problems exist, right? And so that always kind of boggled my mind, and this through studying both globalization and environmental stuff, I've kind of been able to come to some answers about it. And so, you know, it's something I'm curious about, something I'm interested in, something I like to talk about, and I, you know, hopefully can sort of get students interested in this stuff too, because I think that's the way to sort of fix these problems.
That's true.
So a typical assignment for sociology of education would consist of like reading the weekly assigned text and then answering questions on that text, as well as a quiz. So the concepts themselves were pretty easy to understand. It's just the work that was required. So like there were essays that required in-depth analysis of research, which sometimes could be complicated, but overall it was okay.